Happy St. Patty's Day! Whoa! Part 2, 6th grade. Here we go. I've already shown you all this. I've already asked you for the Review 19. I've already asked you for the Pi and Decimal color sheet. And I've already gone over 6L98. So right now we're going to go over 6L99, which is about fraction, decimal, and percent equivalence. And this, just a hint back, is we can look back into our math notebooks to the pages with all those circles. Remember what's on all those circles? Fractions, decimals, and percents. And you have 6 that I've told you would be good for you to memorize, okay? And we may just happen to see some of those right now when we fill out this chart. All right, so again, this is 6L99, fraction, decimal, percent equivalence. Okay, and there's only one example. All right, so what we've got, oh, where'd my pen go? Here we go. All right, so it says complete the table. So what I want you to do is I want you to actually write this down. We're going to write fraction, decimal, and percent on your paper. And you're going to come down 3 spaces. And let's see, can you turn on the light, Bethany? Oh. And blank that for a second. All right, and we're going to do this, 3 lines, all right? And so I'm going to give you the first fraction is 1/2. And on the second line, the decimal is 0.3. And then on the third line, we're going to put 40%. And the goal here is to write each one as a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. So let's see, how could we find out how to write 1/2 as a decimal? All right, well, we have done this before. We could say 1/2, can we make it into anything? We can multiply that to equal 10. Absolutely. 5/5. So we would say 2 times 5 is 10, 1 times 5 is 5. So we've got 5/10. And so we can write 5/10 as a decimal, which would be 0.5. And now we want to write that as a percent. Now what we've done to write fractions and decimals and percents is we can either multiply the fraction times 100%. Remember, you can only multiply fractions times other fractions. So we could do this. And multiplying 5/10 times 100 over 1, and we can of course reduce right here because 10 goes into both 10 and 100. So 10 divided by 10 is 1, 100 divided by 10 is 10, and then 5 times 10 is 50 over 1, but that would be 50%. So we just write in that percent. So that's basically what we're doing here. We could have also found the decimal another way by dividing the numerator by the denominator because all fractions, remember, are just a division problem waiting to happen. So let's see, right here they give us the decimal 0.3, which as 6th graders, you know that you don't read that as 0.3, and you also don't say 0 and something. You just go to the 3 and you say 3, and then you say what its place value is. And so you should know now that the 3 is in the 10th place right here, so that is 3/10. Well, that makes it really easy to write it as a fraction, 3/10, because 3/10 as a fraction looks like this, and 3/10 as a decimal looks like this. Now, we want to say, remember the way that we can change a fraction or a decimal into a percent is we multiply that decimal or that percent times 100. So let's go ahead and let's put this 3/10 times 100. Hang those zeros over, bring them over. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 0 is 0. There's 1 digit behind the decimal point, so come back over here, put 1 digit behind the decimal point, and it is 30%. So you've got 30%. So here we filled these in. Now we just need to go backwards. Now we have 40%. We want to write that as a fraction. And when they say fraction, they of course do mean as a reduced fraction. So you're going to want to do 40%. Percent means out of 100. So we're going to say 40 over 100. Not a good answer to put in there. We want to reduce it. So what number can you divide into both 40 and 100? Well, we could chop off those zeros, which would be dividing it by 10. We could start there, and that would equal 4/10. Oh, but we're still not completely reduced. So we need to divide that by, they're both even numbers, so we can divide it by 2/2. And 4 divided by 2 is 2, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that would be 2/5. But in the process, we saw this. And we can write that guy as a decimal, and that is read 5/10. I just read a fraction to you, 5/10, but I also just read to you a decimal, which you would read it as 0.4, which is 4/10. So there is that filled in. Let me erase this and turn the screen back on. Let's see, unblank that. And they're going to show you that says the numbers in each row should be equivalent. For 1/2, we write a decimal and a percent. For for 3/10, we write a fraction and a percent. For 40%, we write a fraction and a decimal. So what they're doing right here is they're showing you that you could have divided this to write it as a decimal, putting that numerator 1 in the box that as the dividend, and then putting a decimal point after it, because you can't divide 2 into 1, but you can divide it when you put that 0 there, and you get 5/10, just like we have already gotten. And then they show you that you could multiply 1/2 times 100%, and then they got 50% like we did. And so, oh, these are just answers that we've already got. So, and then this is something, if you want to practice, this would be awesome. Maybe even some bonus points if you want to copy this down and shoot this guy to me. That would be awesome. Let's see. There's that. Ooh, dear, I just gave you some answers. Let's see. Now we are finally at the end of this lesson. And remember, this is lesson 6L99. I'm giving you these Rocketbook sheets, and I have outlined the Shamrock. Either print out for yourself the graph paper or print out the line paper, whichever one you'd like to do your homework on. And remember, don't forget to put your name on there. I'm not going to see anything except what is on the grid and what is on the line. So make sure that you write your name on there. So for example, I would write down Jennifer Terry 22, and then I'm in 6B, so I would write that down, and then I would write down 6L99, and then write down those problems. Remember to fold your paper into a hot dog fold, and put that number down here also, 22, and then work out your problems, and send that to me by the end of the day. Remember, this is due by 8 o'clock tonight, so I look forward to grading them. Remember to show your work, and if you have any questions, don't forget to email me. Thanks, have a great day. Oh, happy St. Patty's Day. I hope you're wearing green. Bye-bye.